We are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward-thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.
Hello, and welcome once again to another fantastic Tuesday, which I always celebrate every single day. But Tuesdays are my favorite day because I get to do what I love to do, which is talk about leveraging your score, helping you get to that next level. As always, you got to give a shout out to the creator because without him, none of this would be possible. I'm just, again, living on cloud nine. It is, we're in that recovery. We're in that understanding that things are going to be okay. And I'm telling you, they're going to be okay. They're going to be more than okay. They're going to be fine. This is just a starting point to where we are now heading. Bye, guys. This is a starting point to where we are now heading. And I'm just elated. I'm excited. I'm super pumped. I'm going to be bringing you some valuable content in these next couple of weeks. Not that I haven't been bringing you valuable content already, but I'm getting ready to ramp it up. I'm getting ready to take it to a whole new understanding of conveying a message that we need to be talking about, a necessary conversation that we must be having. And it's going to start with today's show. I got another event coming up that I'll talk about at the end of this show, just before departing. But we're going to give you the opportunities to successfully recover. The globe itself is recovering. The United States is recovering, regardless of the party. I always have to challenge myself to make sure that I find the most appropriate manner and words of being able to convey a message. And I seek every opportunity to make sure that I'm talking to the people that I need to be talking to. And it's to be honest with you, it's all of us. We all need to know how our money works. I thank Dr. Yana B. Woodhouse for that wonderful understanding of you got to make that money work. You got to make it. It's got to work for you, because I'm telling you right now, it's working for everybody else. It's working for Elon Musk, the richest man in the world. It's working for Apple, $2 trillion company. It's working for Microsoft, $2 trillion company. It's working for all of these entities that we frequent on a regular basis. Our money is working for the financial industry. It's working for your unions. It's working for your employers. Our resources are working for someone else. And why aren't they giving us the same return as they're giving someone else? Why? Well, we're going to have to figure that out. And I believe with this conversation that's going to be started today, we're going to be able to do that. We're going to be able to get an understanding of why our situations aren't working. And it's going to start with, again, financial literacy. We can say whatever we want to say about this topic, but it needs to be in school. It needs to be first and foremost on every academic understanding that is known to man, because a lot of us are not prospering because we don't understand those two things, financial literacy. All right, so we're going to dive right into it. We're going to get it really started right now because, as I stated, I'm pumped. I'm hyped. I'm on cloud nine about making sure that those who look like me and those who don't look like me are always going to be represented by those who are qualified. Yes, qualified. I don't know about this political situation that's going on. Again, I know what I need to know, and at some point I'm probably going to dive into that arena too. But what I do know is the experience and the understanding that I've been given thus far. I have no other choice but to make sure that those who look like me, who don't look like me, that you get an understanding that we're going to have to learn from each other. Knowledgeable, well-spoken, educated, talented in every sense of the understanding to be able to convey a message to those who want to recover. Bottom line. I said it before, the globe is recovering, the United States is recovering. So I'm going to ask you, why are you not recovering? All right, financial literacy. Why isn't financial literacy a K through 12 curriculum? I've been asking that question. I've been getting a lot of different answers as to why, and it doesn't add up sometimes. Doesn't make sense. I've read, I've listened, I've done all of the things that I need to gather this understanding for this moment in life. Again, you're looking at somebody, gray hair, cool, nice complexion. How old is this guy? I told, and I said it before, I'm 56 years old, 56. So I'm no youngster. I've had the opportunity to work for 19 different companies. The pleasure, the honor, the benefit, the reward, the failure, the success, the misery, the horror, the fun, the enjoyment of working for different entities has allowed for me over 30 years to gather enough understanding and tie that into our financial situation that has been plaguing me for my 50 plus. I'm now in a position where I can help you. I can guide you. I can aid you through these understandings. You got to want it more than those who are presenting it. Because if you do, I'm telling you, we got experts out there. I know one, and I mentioned her earlier, Dr. Yana B. Woodhouse, someone who has received prestigious awards for her accomplishments. She's an expert. She's someone who knows far more than I know, and she calls me a professional and an expert in that arena. And I'm very much grateful. But again, the experts are here. Those who want that help should be seeking out, because those who are wanting to offer that help are out there. We're out there. Antonio Kenyatta, another brilliant mind who also equally understands that, hey, we have to do more for our people. But you got to want it more than those who are offering it to you. Because if you do, we are here. So financial literacy, why isn't it a K through 12 curriculum? Well, my personal and professional opinion is it was designed this way. It was designed to keep a certain percentage of the population from the ability to be able to excel when it came to their financial understandings. We allow businesses to get away with egregious acts. We allow Congress to pass legislation and laws and acts and rights that allow for us to be protected, but it still leaves so many loopholes that, of course, you can jump through it with a Mack truck. All right, so it's not that we aren't doing what we should, it's that we're not doing enough. And it needs to be more concentrated in those areas, obviously, of poverty. Huge blankets across this country are dealing with these types of homelessness situations, and a variety of other circumstances. But my professional and personal opinion, it was designed this way. And now that we know how to manage or maneuver our way through it, well, we got to start somewhere and getting an understanding on expectation of what does it mean. So we're going to be talking about financial literacy. Why isn't financial literacy taught in school? What are some of the solutions? And I'm going to wrap it up with some contact details. Right? Just that simple. I keep it simple for you as I do my students. All right, so breaking the cycle. We're going to have to figure out how we break this cycle. There is no getting around it. There is no getting around it. It's a cycle. It's a cycle that has prevented us from being able to get the understanding of why we are in these situations. So the financial literacy inheritance cycle. So the children watch their parents make poor financial decisions and receive minimal teaching. Again, this is not me making this up. This is somebody who has said, hey, guess what? Let's do some case study and let's find out, is this relatable? Is this a problem? Is this something that's literally going on and hasn't been going on for decades? And I can tell you right now, it has been going on for decades, and we're not doing anything better to improve it. I live in New York State. I lived in California. I've lived in Hawaii. I've lived in Philadelphia, just here in the United States. And I can tell you that every one of those, I lived in Chicago, every one of those areas, when it came to financial literacy, it wasn't very high on that academic totem pole. Definitely can say when I was in Germany, lived over in Germany, that was definitely a priority. It was more emphasized in every single level of their K through 12. Obviously, they have a different numbering system in their academics understandings than we do, and also in their higher education levels as well. Always a focus, always a focus, always a focus. Why not here in the United States? As I said, children watch their parents making poor financial decisions and receiving minimal teaching. Then that cycle continues on. Children internalize excessive bad habits and develop limited financial literacy. All right. So again, we're giving this on to our children, and we're saying, okay, we did that for ourselves. So here, now we're not going to teach anything. We want you to learn from our bad behaviors. I am a benefactor of this understanding. But then I decided to get better. It took me a while to get to that understanding of getting better. And I'm there now. I'm fully capable of making sure that I can make the proper decisions. And I see myself within a very short period of time of back into that ownership understanding, making sure that my finances are always working for me. And then that last piece of this cycle that must be broken, children become parents who have limited financial literacy. We're either going to break it or we're not. Because if we don't, this is going to keep going. It's 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 going to keep going. And it's going to keep going. Got to break that cycle. So where are we falling short? And there's probably a lot of areas in which we are falling short. And one of those areas in which we are falling short is right here again. Fewer than 10 in 20 workers have saved enough to replace the recommended 80% of pre-retirement income. That's got to hurt when you hear that. That's got to hurt. And that tells me a lot that I already know about where and what we should be doing when it comes to this financial literacy. We're just not doing enough. I'm going to say it. We're not where we should be when it comes to each state, each school board, even when you break it down to its lowest level, each classroom, there should be something that is taught about when it comes to money and how, whether or not we're going to be able to. I talk to teachers all the time and I ask them, how is your retirement? Are you going to be able to retire properly? And they're all still like, I don't know, because of the uncertainties that are out there. And those uncertainties should be a bit alarming and disturbing. For me, they are, and they should be equally for you. So I always look for ways and means of being able to get us to that next level. And I'm going to continue to keep doing that as long as it takes. As long as it takes. We got to make sure that these numbers increase. On track to replace at least 85% of their income during retirement. 13%? Really? Gen Xers? That I don't see. How? If you don't have financial literacy, how are you going to bring those numbers up any further? Baby boomers, 15%. All right, pre-retirees, age 55. We're talking about me. 15% is the baby boomers. All right, on track to replace at least 70% of their income. The numbers are a little bit better, but I mean, is that encouraging? Probably shouldn't be. Would you ride in an airplane that had a 37% or airline that had a 37% getting you to your destination on time? Probably not. You'd probably drive. 37%? Absolutely, you definitely would. Same thing with the 15% and the 13%. You would not. We could sit there and go, well, if I had a parachute, well, no. President Obama, I got to give him kudos because he was out there stomping and he said something that was so relevant about Mr. Walker. Again, my politics has nothing to do with any of this understanding, but it was the relevancy that he made when he was addressing Mr. Walker and his understanding of whether or not he should be someone who's sitting as a congressman. He said, as you saw him, as Lindsey Graham was portraying him to be, just because he's a black guy, would you say, hey, oh my goodness, there's that Heisman Trophy winner. Well, let's see if he can fly the airplane. We would want to know if he had some qualifications. It was just a brilliant point that was put out there. And I'm hoping I'm making a similar point when it comes to Would you fly on an airline that was only getting you to your destination 37% of the time? You probably would. So we have to do better all the way across the board. We're just falling short in this one area. So what is financial literacy? So that's the big question. I talk so much. What is this financial literacy? The ability to understand and effectively use various financial skills, including personal financial management, budgeting, and investing. Again, that is what financial literacy is. It's not this, oh my God, hardest to believe, drive myself crazy. No, it's just a few components that you have to tie together. Even though you are a consumer, you are still an individual that has to manage these responsibilities more adequately, and we're not doing it because we don't have the skill set. Two, again, the ability to understand and effectively use various financial skills. Budgeting is a financial skill. Managing your credit is a financial skill. Making sure that you're managing your debt, financial skill. Making sure that you are watching how your paycheck is being deducted from its deductions, financial skills. Making sure that whatever you're putting into these financial institutions are giving you a adequate amount of return, financial skill. All right. You're not thinking like what we should be thinking. You're thinking like a consumer. And unfortunately, the word sticks. It's us. It's who we are. But now I have to change the narrative and I have to give you a course correction. You have to be thinking more like a business. Okay. Financial skills. You need to apply these to your household just like you were a business, which now I'm going to elevate your understanding from consumer to now business owner. You're the business owner of your household. If you do not have the adequate enough financial skills, your business is going to fail. It's going to collapse. And I do not want to see individuals now talking about, oh, bankruptcy, 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 bankruptcy. Yeah, that's an avenue to a financial skill that you have to possess, or you have to give someone else that task. But we have to do better in our financial skills, including personal financial management. Managing, that's all that is, managing. Managing how I put my money into the financial institutions, managing that I'm not overspending, managing that I'm getting proper return, managing equally that when I do the work that I'm getting compensated properly. It's managing. You manage the time from when you get up to make sure that you're out of that house on time to get to that job on time. You manage yourself properly to make sure that you execute tasks between the hours of starting to lunchtime. You manage the proper time to go get lunch and then come back to that office space or whatever it is that you're doing. We're managing all the time, but the thing is, when it comes to our finances, we're attempting to find the time. And we got to stop doing that because it's not working. It's never been working, because if you could have found the time, trust me, you would have a gold mine right now. You'd be richer than Elon Musk by finding time. You're never going to find time. So you have to start making that time. Cut out those moments or that hour or whatever it is. Again, my job is to help you, navigate you through what you should be doing. I'm not going to force you to do anything. You're a grown man. You're a grown woman. I'm not going to push you or pressure you on doing anything. That would be bullying on my part to get your business. I don't need your business that bad. What I want is I want your attention to understand that you have to do these things. If you do these things during a recovery, you're going to recover as everything else itself recovers. It's just that simple. I've worked for more than enough entities, watched them fail and watched them recover. More than enough. I've changed the way and the directions of so many entities by just giving compassion and understanding to what I already know and being able to eloquently explain it to those who are looking for that resolve, that relief, solutions. I'm a solution person. I love problems, so keep bringing them. And this is one of those problems that I already know we have multiple solutions for, and we can continue to keep sitting around waiting for what? More solutions or someone else to come up with the grandiose thing that's going to solve it? It's not, because you have to manage it properly. And also it includes your budgeting and your investing. In the investing piece, there's so many ways to make money in this economy. It's almost unbelievable. And you don't have to just invest it in what your 401k is telling you. You don't have to invest it in what the guys on Fox News or Business News or what on CNBC talks about. There's so many ways to invest your bread that could give you adequate enough return so that you can live a sufficient and wonderful life while managing all of the other aspects that come with it. As people become more aware of the far-reaching consequences of financial literacy, one question becomes obvious. Why isn't financial literacy taught in schools? This is a fair question as one considers the repercussions of financial ignorance and advantages of knowing about personal finance. The question becomes increasingly important. Perhaps it is less important to point fingers and blame schools for missing the obvious necessities of knowing and to focus on moving forward so schools do begin to teach financial literacy. Instead of asking, why isn't financial literacy taught in school? Let's ask, how do we get schools to teach financial literacy? I love it. I love it. So I'm asking schools, how do we get you to teach financial literacy? I'm asking parents, how do we get you in your homes to teach financial literacy? Why in your homes? Because I just told you, you're now a business. You're the CEO, mom and dad, CEO. Your children are the investments. You're hoping and giving everything that you possibly can. You're buying them all of the nice clothes and making sure that they're presentable when they go here, there, and so forth and so on. So we're investing in them and we want them to be better than us. And I'm going to put it out there as it always should. I do not sugarcoat anything. I am not Willy Wonka. And third and finally, your friends are assets. Yes, they're assets or liabilities. Assets or liabilities. You are the CEO, your children are the investments, and your friends and acquaintances are either assets or liabilities. That's how you have to run that business. That's how businesses run their business. How do I know that? Because I work for 19 of them. And I have to say, honestly, it was pretty darn good too. It was never a disciplinary understanding for me leaving a business. I'm thankful and grateful to every single one of those 19 opportunities. And we left, split ways, all because of personalities. I'm not sitting there going back and forth with somebody who's not going to allow for the job to be done. I'm not doing that. Your entity, you can do whatever you want. It's your entity. I don't have to be there, but I know my contribution has not only been felt, it has moved the needle in so many ways. So I'm always available to anybody who wants to gain that knowledge that I have. Always available to you. Always available to you. Because what I possess aren't very many people out there that understand it. It's just, again, not tooting the horn, not boasting my head or bragging or making it. No, that's a pat on the back. That's confidence. That's what comes with that. Confidence. Not cocky. Never, ever, ever. Confidence. So again, a little bit of an understanding as to why we're not teaching or why it's not taught in schools. So we should be asking. I'm asking Congress. How do we get schools to teach financial literacy? I'm asking Joe Biden. I'm asking Donald Trump. I'm asking Mitch McConnell. I'm asking all of those MAGA people who are attempting to point the fingers at everything. And there should be no need to point fingers at anything. There's more than enough out there. So question is now posed. Hopefully I'll get some responses back. Definitely looking forward to it because that would be so much fun to see some of those comments come through about that understanding. All right, let's keep this ball moving. So a few reasons why financial literacy isn't taught in school. 1 in 5 teachers feel qualified to lead a financial literacy class. So 1 in 5. They feel qualified, but 1 in 5. That's a pretty disturbing odds that they themselves, who are more or less managing their households, and should this be something that teachers teach, or should we be finding professionals who understand that? So that sits well with me, 1 in 5, but I think we should attempt to raise those numbers up because this is a necessity. If we're going to make sure that we have well-rounded individuals in this country, we're going to have to make sure that their finances are equally brought up to a level where even if they do earn a minimum wage, which that seems like the course in which this country will never divert from, we should be focusing on a living wage. But even if you have a minimum wage and you have proper financial understanding, oh yeah, but trust me when I tell you, I can help you. Not only can I help you, I can get you exactly to where you need to be so that you start prospering. It's just that simple. So we don't have enough instructors to teach financial literacy classes, which again, kind of ties in with the number one. Financial literacy isn't part of the ACT or it isn't part of the SAT. And down at the bottom, you can see what the ACT and what the SAT actually means. If it's not tested, it's not taught. Very, 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 very vital. If it's not tested, it's not taught. We test our kids on making sure that they, prior to leaving high school, they understand how money works. They're getting jobs at 16 while they're in high school. And all we teach them is how to go spend that bread. Education is up to the states, not the feds, and each state has different ideas. Well, yeah, that's cool, but it's really not that challenging. It's really not that hard. We can set a uniform standard as we do with most things that we do. Again, you're looking at someone who's a vet. Understand that uniformity. Made sure that anytime anyone came to my stock rooms or anyone decided to need or wanted items from me in any capacity, whether I was working for the United States Army or working for Universal Studios. Educated. The feds can do it. The states can do it. I'll do it. It's not that hard. It's not that challenging, but we have to want to do it. It's just that simple. There isn't much agreement as to what financial concepts would be taught. Yeah, that's true. Isn't much agreement. So let's start with the basics. The basics. Can you add? Well, we got that down. Hopefully. Do we? Because 35% of the population can't do math properly. Then we have to focus on, okay, now you have a job. So there's certain components to that paycheck that you get. Taxes, deductions, all these other things that come with it. But let's go way back to the beginning. Knowing the difference between the currencies, pennies, dimes, nickels, quarters, dollars. We set our kids up for failure because we don't invest in them enough when it comes to this understanding. All right, so it's not that hard. Financial literacy across 5 generations. Individual typically begin adulthood with low financial literacy. And while it increases over time, financial literacy nevertheless tends to remain low. Why? These numbers are reasonable. They're reasonable. But still, to have 47% of the population still struggling, that's again, 43% are doing well, 47% are not, 42% doing well, 42% are not. That's a large swath of our population. And primarily, I'm going to tell you who they are. They look like me. And the saddest part about what it's not being represented or told, there are poor white folks in it as well. But they think that we're taking from them. If they only knew. And that's going to come up in further conversations about what really is going on within our financial understandings. But this is just, as I said, an intro, getting us back on track with what we are going to have to do while this nation recovers, while the globe recovers. I was just talking to the producer of the show, and she was telling me that, hey, I was telling her, not she was telling me, I was telling her that the last time we've been through a pandemic was 1918. All right, 100 years ago. And if you think about the slide that I showed you last week, we were in a pretty bad circumstance. Great Depression, there was multiple events that transpired that also furthered that recovery, which took 25 years to recover. We've gone through a housing decline and a auto decline under the not the last guy, but the previous guy to the last guy, which was President Obama. And again, it only took 6 years. We've now gone through a pandemic And as I stated before, no matter which political party is leading the country, the feds are the one dictating our money. Yeah, we can get scared over, we're going to reach the debt ceiling. Are we going to pay our bills on time? We can keep throwing out these fear things because, again, the news loves that understanding. They love to keep us in peril. Cliffhanger. Come on, please, stop. There are those of us out there who really get it and we understand it. And if you guys would just be a little bit more understanding with us, put us on those shows, we can probably convey what you're not able to convey. Things are going to be okay. They're going to be okay. All right. So we got to do better in all of these numbers here. Got to do better. All right. There's a host of reasons why isn't financial literacy taught in school. The answer is a general failure of education systems to identify the most relevant skills students should possess. That's all. That is it right there. Which ones do they need? Let's ask the kids, hey, what would you like to learn when it came to financial literacy? Take a survey. We're always studying stuff. We're always trying to reevaluate. Well, let's ask those who are going to benefit from it the most. Let's ask them. And then we'll go around the country and we'll take a survey. You're polling everything, but you're not polling the right things. And your polls, I don't even know whether they're accurate or not accurate. So let's do some of our own stuff. I'll start right here in Yonkers, New York. So I'm asking all schools here in Yonkers, New York. I'm asking all nonprofit organizations. I'm asking all churches who have the ability to have huge impacts within their community. Let's get something on the books when it comes to financial literacy. Let's take this to the whole new level. Again, let's think about Tulsa, Oklahoma. Black folks started a whole Black Wall Street. Had all of the benefits and luxuries of life. Building hospitals, banks, bus stations. I mean, just everything that you could possibly think of. So we've done this before. And then the jealousy and the rage and the hate and the anger tore it all down. And none of those individuals were ever made whole. None of them. Because that's the unfortunate circumstances of America's broken promises. And again, don't get me wrong in any sense of the word. I don't want nobody out there misconstruing or making an assumption about what I'm saying. If I'm going to say something, I'm going to say it directly. I love my country, hands down. Black soldier, hands down. Love the United States of America. I've been fortunate enough to do a lot of things. And now I'm back home. I'm back where I was born and raised, right here in Yonkers, New York. And I'm going to move the needle. And those who want to move along with me, I'm more than happy to bring you along. But trust me when I tell you, I do not mind sitting at my own table, spreading my own spread. Do not mind eating alone, because I'm going to gather those who want this valuable information, and we're going to move that needle. We're going to definitely get to where we need to get. But I'm asking all of those entities that I just called out. I'm asking the local governments as well. I'm asking the states. We got to do better for these citizens. You got a homelessness problem. I know I'd help you get through that. You got to will to want to do it. I have the will to want to give you my knowledge and my understanding. Then you have to have the will to want to meet me halfway to let's execute what we know we can execute. Just that simple. Not hard, not challenging, just the will to want to do more. I want to do more. So while some point to underfunding as a response to the question, the STEM program, which with expensive computers and lab equipment, but can't find room in its budget for financial literacy. Again, STEM programs. I know how to help you help more. I know what you're doing. They're already brilliant understandings with coding and all of these high-tech industries that are going to benefit richly off of our youth who are going to turn over their knowledge and their technology to large conglomerates who are going to give them what in return for it, if at all anything. I'm a business person. I've been given access to a host of businesses, so I know what you do. So why would I not express it in the manner in which would allow for you to go, yeah, you know what? Yeah, there's some of us out there that know that we are not very friendly to our workers. All right, so that's another avenue in which we can go. Let's find some money in this STEM program to drop in another component that would benefit, obviously, the STEM program and also equally benefit those who are in desperate need. So, as the famous song goes, the things that make you go, All right, so how, we already know. This is another cycle. This is how we break these. Well, let's introduce the cycles first. Let's give us some solutions. How do we? Hunger, poor health, living conditions. This is poverty and the lack of education from a vicious cycle. Again, a vicious cycle of a vicious. Please understand that. Poverty, lack of education from a vicious cycle. All right. Hunger, poor health, and living condition. Let's keep moving along. Lack of education. If you are in a low income area, you know what I'm talking about already. I live in a low income area purposely because I'm still seeking out the opportunities of being able to afford my home in this most outrageously priced state. But it's okay because, as I stated, as long as I'm living by the financial management understandings, I'm going to be able to make it here, regardless of what obstacles that the state or that the legislators or that the country throws in front of me, because I'm financially prepared to address whatever conditions that might be preventing me from doing what I want to do for me. Oh, more than equipped. And all I'm saying is, we got to do better in these areas. If we do better in these areas, lack of opportunity, I create my own opportunities, as I'm doing right now for you. I'm giving you the opportunity to reach out to me to get some valuable content that's going to allow for you to do the exact same thing that I'm doing. Think of all the favorite stores that you go to. Does Macy's have one location? Does Old Navy has one location? Does Starbucks have one location? No. Mimic. Does Foot Locker have one location? No, it mimics. It mimics its success. Why are you not doing the exact same thing? We mimic our failure and we now need to mimic our success. Low income. All right, there's the cycle. There's the cycle. There's the cycle. There's the cycle. If we throw financial literacy in there, we're going to break the cycle. Cycle of poverty, literacy, access to fewer opportunities. Well, let's bring the opportunities here. Philanthropy opportunities. Let's talk. Let's sit down. Let's have a conversation as to how you can, again, it's a tax write-off. That's all it is, a tax write-off. I want to spend all of your bread. You want to give it away? I want to spend all of it. Not on me, because again, there's too many people on this planet for me to be selfish. It's just that simple. Too many people on this planet to be selfish. I definitely want to use what I have and earn a modest and an understanding living by going around whatever and wherever to whomever, it doesn't matter, expressing the exact same thing that I express to my community as well. We got to and we must do better. Low income employment, minimum wage. Now think about minimum wage for a second. Minimum wage, just the understanding of minimum. I'm going to give you minimum, but I'm going to require that you come in and do the maximum. I'm going to give you minimum and I'm not going to give you any protections. I'm going to give you the minimum and I'm going to require upon you that you, again, meet every aspect of this employment, and I'm still going to give you minimum. I'm not going to give you enough to be able to have the protections, the securities of employment. I'm not going to give you anything when it comes to you being able to take care of your children if there's an emergency. This is where we are when it comes to our employment. How? And then you want employees to come in and be lapdogs or whatever it is that you're requiring for minimum. And then on top of that, the states say, well, guess what? You're now working in an at-will state, so they can fire you at will. Where, how? How was that ever supposed to work? And on top of that, we're going to give all of the riches, everything to the top, and then we're going to watch and see if it trickles down. 1983. That's another topic for another day, but 1983, Ronald Reagan, when he said, oh, we're going to cut the tax rate for the rich from 70 to 28. And it's all going to magically trickle down to those at the bottom because rich people are so generous. They're so warm and welcoming. We as people have been inherently cruel to each other. So what would have possessed anyone to think that, okay, let's change the tax rate, make sure that the rich have more, and they're going to let things trickle down. Let's move on. Limited access to resources resulting in poverty. I'm giving a resource. I'm asking Mr. President, I'm giving you a resource. I'm asking the mayor of our city, Spano, I'm giving you a resource. I'm a resource. I'm someone who's now asking you to reach out to me because I've been reaching out for the last 6 years to anyone who wanted to listen. Matt of Soul City wanted to listen. Dr. Yana B of the same Understanding Soul City, who has her show on Thursdays, Access Wealth Nation, wanted to listen. Antonio Kenyatta, the fiduciary that I brought up earlier, wanted to listen. The schools that I'm now attending want to listen. The students that I get to talk to on a regular basis want to listen. The event that I'm going to be holding tomorrow at the Yonkers Public School, Public Library, wants to listen. So I'm asking all of you, who wants to listen? Who wants to take what we have and build as this nation, as the globe recovers? If you don't know what I know, then I think it's overdue time that you get to know what I know. And I'm going to give it to my girl, Erykah Badu, as best any slogan that's out there, call Tyrone. All right, so we're going to wrap this up. I'm going to thank you guys for participating. We want to thank everybody. We want to just give a huge thank you to, just to the whole entire planet. Just thank you. Thank you. We know that this has been the most trying of times. The most trying of times. We got Ukraine going through its understanding, its misunderstandings. We got all these disasters happening. Pakistan had that flood. Where was it again? South Korea had that stampede. It's just every time you turn around, there's just some horror happening. And I keep you all in my prayers. I keep you all in my thoughts. I wish you nothing but greater and more success as we, again, navigate through this recovery. Don't let anyone tell you anything other than it's going to be okay if you start applying the principles and the understanding of what you already know. And if you do not know, find somebody who does. There's too much out there now for us to think that, oh, this is an isolationist understanding. It's not. We are a global society. And if we focus on that global understanding and we take from those who have given and have already provided in such a manner that, again, they want to give you more. I hold on there. Let me bring that back, because we got a lot of perpetrators out there. And I hate calling people out, but that's who I am. I'm going to call them out. I'm going to point the finger at them because they need to have the fingers pointed at them. Mr. Musk, definitely. Again, think about his upbringing. Yeah, you were bullied. You were pushed around. But come on, dude. You were blessed with the abilities to now have. And you think that is putting you in a position of more abilities to abuse? Well, you're sorely mistaken. Because it's going to be people like me that are going to put the pressure on the masses to make sure that you don't continue to keep doing what you're doing. Let's talk about Mr. Y.E. I don't know why you changed your name, boy. And I'm going to call you a boy because I'm a black man. I can call you a boy because you're still a boy. You ain't as old as I am, boy. So just chill. What is you doing out there? What are you doing? Who are you representing? Because you're definitely not representing me with all these ridiculous and horrible comments that you kind of keep putting out there, thinking because you got a little bit of bread, so I'm going to just do whatever I want. Back it up, Sonny. Because it's not how we act. Mr. Walker, let's talk about you, sir. I don't think you're putting it together very astutely when it comes to how you're expressing and explaining yourself, sir. I don't know what you think you're doing, but it's not working. But yeah, if you get that seat, who are you now going to be actually serving when you get that seat? Who? What people? You should be serving, obviously, all people, but who are you really representing if you don't get that seat? Exactly. Exactly. Back it up, sir. I think you had too many hits, took too many balls to the skull, or maybe you took too many, whatever. But you need to just bring it down a notch. If you win, congratulations. If you don't, please step to the side and let Pastor Warnock go out there and do what he must do. And all of you elected officials across this country who don't seem to understand, there's only one president. Nobody else is going to be instilled or given the liberties of elections are elections. You can deny, you can not like the outcomes, but I mean, think consciously about what you're saying. A lot of you had state races and then you had a national race. How can you say the national race was rigged, but the state race ran exactly the way that it needed to? Biden brought up a very important point. You can't say the election is only fair when you win and it's unfair or rigged when you lose. How dumb. I got to say it just flat out. How dumb does that sound? So, as I said, didn't want to get off into a tangent about politics and all of that stuff, but I think those of us who are supposedly talking to us, unfortunately, you're not. You're talking at us and you're talking about us and you're talking down to us, and that's not going to work. Because there are those of us out there who are more intelligent and we can read, we can see through the, the understanding. You can see right through that, right? I'm not giving you the middle finger, but you can get the gist of what I'm talking about. And that's what you're doing. And it's now belittling. And people like myself, I'm not going to stand for it. I'm not doing it any longer. I've been nice. I've been fair. I've been decent. And I'm going to continue to do those things. But I'm going to call you out when it need be every single time. And when it comes to this topic of real concern, like financial literacy and credit and money management and investing and all of those pieces that encompass financial literacy, we're going to be doing a lot more about making sure that every single soul in this country has a full understanding that it's not we against each other. It's us that is going to make the difference when it comes to whether or not we are a United States or a divided states. Either way, I'm telling you right now, united, we're going to do much better. Divided, only some of us are going to prosper. And I'm going to make sure that those who look like me prosper. And those who do not look like me, I'm taking you all too. Come on in. Opening the door, opening the arms, big, huge hug for anybody who wants to get this understanding. You got to want it more than I, the presenter. But I'm telling you now, I'm presenting it to everyone, primarily those who look like me, black and brown, who have been taken advantage by every ounce of what this nation has been presenting. Our own fault some of the time, and I'll agree, I have made some horrible mistakes in my financial life. I've made some horrible mistakes in my personal life. I've made some horrible mistakes in life altogether. But I'm cool with my mistakes, and I am now, as the globe, as this nation recovers, I'm equally on the same footing when it comes to our recovery. Anybody else who wants to recover in that manner, come on down. Come on down. Come on down. Do not wait. Leverage Credit Recovery, Soul City Network, Access Wealth Nation. Send us all emails. Come to us. Again, we're the ones who are now offering you the opportunities to get from behind some of these horrible circumstances. Because if you do, I'm telling you, it's going to benefit. You're going to pay off. All right, so contact details. Leverage Credit Recovery. That's the name of our business. We strategically thought that name out. You're going to all need leverage. Credit is just one of those things that I piggybacked off of the credit recovery that's in Yonkers, New York, in the schools. It's an opportunity for children who have maybe missed out by whatever the circumstances may have been in graduating, they can take this credit recovery and it will propel them to that next level. But I want to add a little bit more to that, which is a financial component. So it would allow for them not only to understand, hey, you got to take your academics a little bit more serious, but even if you didn't, we now have this new component that ties into you're getting ready to go out there into the world. You're getting ready to start managing other understandings. So we need to make sure that your financial literacy is equally addressed in that manner as well. So leverage credit recovery at gmail.com is our email. Leverage credit recovery at gmail.com is that email. We now use this thing called Linktree. I love Linktree. I love it. Linktree, if you need a spokesman or a person to do an ad for you, I'm putting my name out there. Linktree is awesome. It allows for you to put a variety of different understandings on one platform. You can QRC it out to people. You can send it in an email, in a text. If you're on the various social media sites, you probably see my Linktree already there on those social media sites. It's a cool little platform, but our Linktree is www.linktr.ee/ again, the business name, Leverage Credit Recovery. Get you a Linktree. It's the coolest thing that I can honestly say since the last cool thing, which used to be Twitter, which used to be Facebook, which used to be TikTok, which used to be Instagram. There's so many new things coming out that how do you keep up? But we're on those. We're not on the Facebook one if you are receiving anything from Leverage Credit Recovery or if you're receiving anything from Tyrone Glover through the Facebook platform. That is not our business. Not our business. That is not coming from us. If you are getting anything like that, please make sure that you're doing the impersonation report that's on Facebook Meta so that they know that, hey, that's not us. But there you have it in a nutshell, folks. This was and always will be a day that I love. Tuesdays are the days that I look forward to. It allows for me to really give all of what I possess in the manner in which I hope that it's benefiting you. I hope that you're able to ascertain exactly what it is that you're going to need to do for you. Because if you do, I'm telling you, the resources that I have are vital. They're going to change the way that those who look like me, and again, those who don't look like, it's going to change your abilities. It's going to change your outlook on how you can best navigate through this recovery. I know, as I stated, you got all of these wise, smart, savvy, brilliant individuals who get on these talk shows every single day. And it's kind of like they're saying the same thing. Gloom and doom, 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 gloom and doom. Oh my God, the recovery, inflation, stagnation, interest, and just gloom and doom, 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 gloom and doom. I don't see that. I don't see that. There are moments where there are some downturns. Your relationship is not always roses. Driving to work is not always the best thing in the whole wide world. There's a traffic jam. There's something that happens. Flying is not going to be the best thing because you're going to hit some turbulence. Hoping that you don't. I mean, when has it always just been so wonderful? It's never been so wonderful. We are a nation that goes through conditions and circumstances and understandings. We are a society that equally goes through those same types of understandings. If we had a government that functioned more adequately for all, we'd probably be doing much better, no question about it. But since we don't, we have to dig deep into our souls. And we have to ask those who know better, can you come out and do what I need you to do, which is help me help those get to that next level. Because if you do, I'm telling you, if you do, we're going to be able to move the needle in, say, I'll give it to the beginning of the year just to get that footing going. Let's talk about this at January timeframe, the resolutions. But I want everyone now to take this challenge. It's called Get It Together Challenge. Get It Together Challenge. I want you to get it together. And this challenge is for the next 30, 60, 90 days. That's February 1. For the next 90 days, what I want you to do is I want you to think about all of these shopping events that are going to be coming up. And I want you to think about, do I need to enrich Walmart? Do I need to enrich Target? Do I need to enrich Amazon? Do I need to enrich Foot Locker? Do I need to enrich any of these institutions that we're going to be giving our hard-earned money to? Do I need to be enriching them? That's part one of the challenge. Part two of the challenge, if you are lucky enough to have some form of a retirement or some form of a savings, I want you to go back to those institutions and I want you to ask them, can you give me a breakdown of my returns? What percentage am I getting back? What are you really giving me for what I'm giving you? Because a lot of you don't understand your 401ks. You don't. You think that it's being managed by the stock market, which it is, because someone else is telling you that. But it's equally being managed by some person. Okay? So that person should be able to tell you, as I would if I was managing your portfolio that had major investments that you were thinking were growing, but yet it was tied to a stock market. And when that stock market goes down, you believe you should be losing money. Well, I'm here to tell you, as a day trader, I play the stock market. I'm in the stock market. I do a lot when it comes to the stock market. You can make money in both directions. So somebody ain't telling you the truth about what's really going on with your money. That's part two. Part three, I want you to go to your bank. And I want you to ask those at the bank. I want you to say, hey, Mr. Banker, I got a question for you. How much am I really getting for my or within my checking account? What percentage are you giving me back? 2%, 1%? What's the real percentage? And I would like to know on my checking and my savings. All right? Three things. If you can do those three things by February 1, and make sure that if you're doing those three things and you start getting this understanding that, I got to do a little bit better. Less shopping, asking those entities, right? It's two entities. Your investment entity, your 401ks, 340Bs, or whatever these numbers that they have out there. Shopping, definitely. Do we need to enrich these stores that we're getting ready to enrich? Go to your financial institutions that are supposedly investing and always claiming, your stock market, that's why your 401k is not moving. That's why this is not moving. That's why that's not moving. Disagree strongly. And also, finally, ask your bank, what are you doing with my money? Why am I only getting pennies to have my money housed in your location, but yet you use it regularly and you're giving me nothing back in return? Does that sit well with anybody? It doesn't sit well with me. And that's why I'm doing something about it. Everybody, I want to thank you as always for giving me the time. I am probably the luckiest person on the face of the planet because I get to do what I really, really enjoy, which is talking. As Morgan Freeman once said before, I love to hear the sound of my voice. I'm only using it as a joke because, again, I still love to hear the sound of my voice, but it's just a funny thing. And it's always a pleasure. It's always the greatest of pleasures to be talking to individuals who I know I could be doing so much more, so in so many ways of helping. And all you got to do is want it more than I. And if you want it more than I, please reach out. My name is Tyrone Glover. I am the Dress Down CEO of Leverage Credit Recovery. It is always my pleasure. I can't wait to see you guys. But as I stated, I got one more announcement. Tomorrow, here in Yonkers Public Library, thank you so much. They have blessed me with the opportunity of doing a presentation there from the hours of 5 to 6. If you want to Zoom in, or if you live in Yonkers and there's still a few more seats available, let me know. That's at Leverage Credit Recovery. I'll be more than happy to send you the link. If you want to call me in or call me and let me know in that manner, or text me, 805-428-9424. And always, as I love to say, ladies and gentlemen, please be safe. Be careful. It's crazy out there. I appreciate you. Leverage Credit Recovery at gmail.com is the website. Is the email. LeverageCreditRecovery.com is the website. As always, I love you and I appreciate you. Everybody, be safe.